Welcome to Carrington House, and that is a little old house on Carrington Street. This is going to be officially a slow renovation in that I'm going to renovate each room one at a time with my hands or the hands of my team, and we're going to slowly and piece by piece show you every single part of the decision-making process, the challenges, and from the get-go. It is the day that we all begin. Room 1 of Carrington House is underway. I have safety glasses, hat, covered in shoes and a work shirt, and we are about to get stuck in on room 1. Room 1 is actually quite straightforward to demolish because its ceilings and its walls are already gyprocked and they're in not great condition, but at this stage I don't see any reason to waste that gyprock and take it to landfill. I will be taking down the boring old cornice that is there, and we certainly will be having to do a lot of repairs to that gyprock. However, it is in pretty good nick and I see no use wasting it. The floor is a different kettle of fish. It has old boards, and then we have some particle boards and ply boards and masonite over the top of that. So I'm really unsure what we're going to find. So today is all about taking up the floors and finding out what is below. It could be a surprise of excitement or despair. Let's see. With those floorboards up and out of the way, I now need to clear out the bearers, the joists, and do a really good subfloor cleanup. These joists certainly are not going to waste though. We're going to de-nail them, get out all the old and rusty nails, and send them up to another project to start a new life as decking boards. It's not exactly as expected.
No, definitely not as expected, but no shock. Common with the older homes.
Yeah.
But
we did know that there was a big water leak, and I think this is evidence of how long it was been going on, because you can even see a tide mark on the ground, hey?
Yeah. But look, there's always solutions, so we can fix it.
So what's our biggest challenge now though? I get that the bearers obviously didn't exist and were rotted. The joists are a bit how you going?
Yeah, this was a bearer, you can see.
And this one was too, wasn't it?
So the water's
obviously... Want to have a sword fight?
This is water. Water can do some amazing things, but this one's definitely been a very long, ongoing water leak. Yeah. It looks like it's actually burnt, doesn't it? But it's not.
It does. It's totally rotted.
So I think the challenge now is giving it enough time to dry out so the room doesn't smell musky like it did when we ripped it up this morning.
Stinks, hey?
We've got our old sandstone footings, so we won't have concrete footings underneath here. These are all dug into the dirt, and then actually...
So do they just sit on nothing?
They sit on nothing.
Wow. That's cool, hey?
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? When you look at this external wall, it is as straight as... Don't get me wrong, it is so great that we can see where the water is and the extent of the damage, but whilst we have the fans drying that out, we now really need to find the source, because once we find it, we can fix it and we can get on with the rebuild. And we have found it.
I've found that this looks like it's freshly plumbed in, but it's not. As you can, if you come around this side, you can actually see where it's moving, and that would be leaking through there straight into the house. And as we've had a lot of rain lately, that would be contributing to the dampness in there.
Before I dive head first into demo, I always like to have a really good chat with my building team. They have a wealth of knowledge, they know things I don't, they see potential challenges I don't, and when we work together and share the vision, I find that we always get to a better outcome. This could mean doing it with less stress, this could mean doing it at a smaller cost, this could mean doing it in a quicker time frame. Either way, a great planning session is a perfect starting point. I'm super excited. It is demolition day and I love getting on the end of a sledgehammer. What an anticlimax. Demo literally, the bricks literally fell away into our hands, and the reason for that is number one, there were no foundations under that wall, and number two, all of the mortar, it was a lime mortar, the wall just fell to pieces. So what does that mean for me? It does mean that I'm going to need to look at the foundations under that wall, but first I want to get this floor rebuilt and then we can chat to the first building team about how we're going to sort that out. It is time that we start the rebuild, which is exciting, but it is always so much slower than demo. So the floor that we're going to be putting back in, so we're reinstating the old floor level, is quite close to the ground, and so the subfloor is even closer. And so I've got to talk to the team at Ferris Building to make sure that the materials we're going to be using in that subfloor are going to last another lifetime. Because as you guys know, Dad and I can do nearly anything. However, realistically, like, it would have taken me 10 times longer.
The chaps in the background here are just putting some joist hangers on.
Yep.
Basically your floor is too close to the dirt, and there's codes about this. Long story short, we've used some red alert timber, which you might be able to see in the background, which is a termite proof timber, and we're going to clear a small amount of dirt so it's not touching it away, but your ventilation doesn't really come up to code. But because we're just putting back what was there, it's okay. We've
made progress.
We've made some really good progress.
So it's dried out, the gutter's fixed, but I haven't told you this yet. When the plumbers came to fix the stormwater, they said that from stormwater to road is all gull and it's all collapsed. So that's probably why it was backflowing and gross. So they've cleared it out to the road, but when we excavate for out the back, they want us just to rip up the run here and replace it, because they said it's just literally gone.
So it just goes to show you how much damage water can cause. And
water is amazing on farms, but in houses, there's no way around it. All I can do is form this up, lay a new concrete footing, and that gives me a sturdy, strong, and level location to install the amazing French doors that are about to go in. The original opening at the front of this home was 2,400 wide, so it was quite a large combination of doors and windows. So to replace that, I'm not only installing a set of French doors that are rebaited so they fit perfectly together, but I'm making sure that I keep the original width by using a side light on either side of the French doors. Regan's going to be spending the morning building them into a unit, and then all in one go, voila, they will be installed. Everyone, this is Dan. He's the head of the team that's going to be working on this project here with me, because I do know that water and timber doors are a big no-no, and these guys are going to get so wet today if I put them in. What are the must-dos? What are the emergency surfaces I have to cover?
Yep. In this situation here, what we're going to do is prime all the bare parts of the doors.
Yep.
Tops, bottoms, sides, any feature panels, the MDF panels in the middle, all that stuff. Even the little edges there, we're going to get all those because we don't want anything getting wet.
So you know I am a lover of smelly oil-based paint when it comes to doors.
Yep.
Why do you guys use oil-based?
it's just the best product we can use to protect any bare timbers.
Yeah, that's true, hey.
Yeah.
Not much gets through.
No, not much gets through.
Not much gets through. And it
As
smells
waterproof as you can make it. So.
Okay, all right. I am completely loving my vision of these beautiful French doors from Hume. However, I'm a practical girl, and so I do need to think about things like security when those beautiful doors are open, privacy, as well as protection from the insects, the mozzies and the flies. And so I have the team from Allspec coming in, and they're measuring up today for a novel approach to securing these gorgeous French door openings. So I'm going to be using an InvisiGuard product. So these guys will measure it up today, and you keep your eye out because this is going to be taking security and screen doors to the next level. So today Hunter lining projects are coming in, and they're going to be making good of the existing walls in there. So there's a lot of reasons why I have kept the existing gyprock on there. First one is it isn't in total disrepair. It does need a lot of work, but by not ripping that out, I'm not contributing to landfill. Number two, I'm really concerned about the structural integrity of the walls beneath it. I'm really worried that if I pull that gyprock off, I'm going to be in a whole world of trouble. So if I don't need to, I'm not going to. But on the downside of that, it does mean that I need to make some electrical sacrifices because there is no gap at all. It's been direct stuck. All the linings below the existing gyprock have been directly stuck on. So it does mean that I can't make any electrical moves in there unless I'm going to cut through the gyprock, chase into the brick, and I'm just not willing to do it. So I need to make a compromise and be happy with my one double GPO and where my PowerPoint switch is now. It's not what my electrician wants, but it's what I'm going to go with here. I know it was my decision, but wow, these walls are in such bad condition. Some areas could easily be patched and skimmed. Other areas we've had to cut pieces of gyprock and insert it, literally like a patchwork quilt. And so first of all, the boys are putting on a non-shrinking base coat, and then once that dries, they will be skimming it with a top coat. And hopefully then it'll be in a position where I'm happy to hand that over to the painters. All of the trims have arrived. So these are pre-primed, FSC certified, real timber. These are trims that have come from in-trim moldings. You guys should look them up. So what I've chosen to start adorning the walls of these rooms with is a beautiful skirt. So it's not too tall. I think it's around 135 mil, not too tall. So that'll be the skirt on the bottom. And then I want to start to dress up the walls in the space, a bit like adding jewelry and layers to the walls. I want to take them from ordinary great walls to extraordinary walls. So I'm going to be adding a couple of elements. Now the first element I'm going to add is an in-trim chair rail. So I'm going to be popping these chair rails in at 900 millimeters off the floor, which is a great height. There is no set rule as to which height you should be putting your chair rails nor your picture rails. So I like to look at the overall height of the room and the dimensions of the room, and then work out what's going to practically work and what's also going to look good from a scale and a ratio perspective. And the picture rail I'm going to be attaching to the wall at 2700 millimeters. So the decision at that height was kind of a bit of a trick for me. Usually I like to put the picture rails at a similar height to the top of the doors or a similar height to the top of the windows. However, in this house, the heights of the doors, which I had to keep due to the heritage nature of the suburb, are actually really, really low. They're at around 1900 millimeters, which would have meant that I would have had a meter between my picture rail and my chair rail. I tell you, no art is going to fit in there. So I've gone above and beyond doors and windows. Picture rails going in at 2.7 meters. Good, hey! Oh my gosh! That totally takes it next level, hey! Happy dance. Regan, you're quiet about it. Do you like it?
Just work.
It's just work.
Do it all the time.
Oh.
It's hard to get too excited about it.
I just think, I don't know, I think that totally takes it next level. It's like putting jewellery on. He's out. He doesn't care about the jewellery. Don't you think?
It's great.
It's kind of like putting jewellery on.
That's good.
And it's practical, so we'll never have holes in these walls now because we have picture rails. So practical and pretty. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Look at these beautiful big real plaster cornices. So these were delayed due to our global pandemic, COVID, which does mean that it's not an ideal way of doing things, but they are here and they're ready to go up now. I am going to be trying to leave up the existing cornices, but I will leave that to the plasterers. If they can't get these over them, then they can take them down. I'm actually outrageously excited to watch these guys put these up because they literally weigh a ton. How they hang them from the corners is beyond me. We've been talking construction. I am so missing some of the pretty things about renovation. So it's time for me to choose my wallpapers and my colours. As you can see, I had a pile of wallpapers that I was choosing from, and now that I've isolated the exact one, it's really important that I start to look at the specific colours that it has. I always use my wallpapers, if I'm putting it into a room, as the jumping off point. Not all whites are whites. There are hundreds of whites. With that in mind, I always use a sample of the wallpaper to specifically pick out the whites, neutrals, and colours that I want to be using. Now this wall might not have needed brand new gyprock on it. Some might argue that, but it did need a whole go of the base coat, so the non-shrinking base coat as well as the top coat, to bring it up to a standard where I'm happy to hand it over to the painters now. So in here, this is all going to be wallpapered in the middle.
Yep. The whole way around?
Yep, the whole way around.
Easy. So what you do is wash it down first, just spray it, wipe it down, sugar soap in a bottle, something like that.
Yep.
And just wipe it down with a rag or a sponge, clean it up, get it ready, and we can sand it and assess it then. But then an acrylic undercoat should be fine underneath.
Okay. Now I like this.
Yeah.
Bailey said to me, it looks like what?
It's blue.
Oh,
Grey.
it's blue.
Blue and grey.
It is blue. So that's what the rest of the walls are going to be.
Nice.
The back of that door.
Yep. Ooh.
Isn't it nice?
I like it.
It's really nice.
Classy.
It is, hey?
Elegant.
Classy lady. You know I love enamel-based paint. How do you feel about the woodwork being enamel in here?
That's brilliant. Hard wearing, lasts forever.
Room 1 is done. Are you ready to come in and check it out? If you're super excited to see the end result of this Room 1 renovation at Carrington House, then just click the link below and you can access part 2 right now. Enjoy.